The book of Daniel is an apocalyptic and prophetic book in the Bible that follows the story of a young Jewish man named Daniel. It is named after its central character, Daniel, who is taken captive by the Babylonians and later serves in the courts of their kings. The book is divided into two main parts, the first 6 chapters focusing on the life of Daniel, and the second 6 chapters featuring his visions and prophecies. The book begins in the year 605 BC, when King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon besieges Jerusalem and takes many of its people, including Daniel, into captivity. The Babylonians had a practice of taking the brightest and most promising young men from conquered nations to serve in their courts. Daniel, along with his 3 companions, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, were selected for their wisdom, intelligence, and physical appearance. They were given Babylonian names, with Daniel being called Belteshazzar, and were taught the language and literature of the Babylonians. Despite being taken away from his homeland and being subjected to a new culture and way of life, Daniel remains faithful to his faith in God. He refuses to eat the food and wine provided by the king, which was against Jewish dietary laws, and instead asks to be given vegetables. This decision impresses the chief official, and he allows Daniel and his companions to continue with their dietary requirements. In the following chapters, Daniel and his 3 friends rise to positions of great prominence in the Babylonian court due to their intelligence and wisdom. However, this also attracts jealousy and hate from their Babylonian counterparts. They plot against Daniel, but he remains faithful to God and continues to interpret dreams and visions for the king. One of the most well-known stories in the book of Daniel is that of the writing on the wall. King Belshazzar, who had succeeded Nebuchadnezzar, hosted a great banquet where the vessels from the temple in Jerusalem were being used. Suddenly, a hand appeared and wrote a mysterious message on the wall. No one could interpret it, but Daniel was called upon to do so. He revealed that the message was a warning from God that the king Ahasuerus' reign would soon come to an end due to his arrogance and lack of respect for God. As prophesied by Daniel, the Medes and Persians conquer Babylon, and Darius the Mede becomes their new ruler. Despite the change in leadership, Daniel is still highly respected and is given a high position in the new administration. In the second half of the book, Daniel receives a series of visions and dreams from God that reveal the future of the world. These prophecies cover a wide range of events, including the rise and fall of future empires, the coming of a Messiah, and the end of the world. The first vision is a dream about 4 great beasts, each representing an empire: Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. In this vision, the 4th beast had 10 horns and a little horn that spoke arrogantly and made war against the saints. This little horn, according to the interpretation by Daniel, represents a future ruler who will rise to power and persecute God's people. Many biblical scholars see this as a foreshadowing of the Antichrist. In the following chapters, Daniel receives more visions and interpretations that reveal future events in the world. One of the most famous prophecies in the book is the vision of the 70 weeks, which predicts the exact year when the Messiah will come. This is fulfilled in the New Testament with the birth and death of Jesus Christ. The book ends with a final vision of a great war between the North and South, which is commonly interpreted as the battle between good and evil at the end of time. It also contains a promise that those who are faithful to God will rise to everlasting life, and those who reject him will face everlasting damnation. The book of Daniel is a powerful and relevant book that provides insights and prophecies about the future. It shows the faithfulness of God towards his people and the importance of remaining faithful to him even in the midst of challenges and trials. It serves as a reminder that God is in control of all things, and his plans will ultimately prevail.